Hi, everybody, and welcome to Intro to Accounting 2. I'm Professor Quinn, and part one of this video, I'm going to show you some of the resources that are going to be available to you throughout the semester on Blackboard. Part two of this orientation video will walk you through how we're going to be using Cengage Now through our session. So, when you first log into Blackboard, it will actually bring you to the announcements page over here. On the announcements page, I will post every single week reminders of what is due in the upcoming week, and that will also be emailed out to you into your NECC email address. So it is very important that you make sure you are checking your NECC email address email box very frequently throughout this semester. So under the Read Me First section, I give you some information about our course. With Blackboard, we're really going to be using it as a site that there's going to be a lot of resources available to you. All of your grades will be posted here as well. When you are emailing me, please make sure that you're emailing me using my email address that's in the syllabus. I have disabled the Blackboard email feature here. I did that because it doesn't get to me very quickly. I don't even know that I have an email unless I log into Blackboard and click on the email. And I like to get back to my students as soon as possible. So please make sure that you're emailing me using that email address. As I stated before, all of your grades are going to be located right here under the My Grades tab on the left-hand side. There's several resources that are available to you. One of them is called Professor Quinn Example Videos, again, which you can find over here in the link on the left-hand side. This link contains several YouTube videos that I've done where I walk you through a variety of different exercises and problems that are in your textbook or are similar to the ones that are in your textbook. And I have noted which exercises or problems that I'm going to be demonstrating and the topic. So I kind of walk you through how to do everything, give you some tips and some reminders about how to solve things. I hear from students all the time that this is one of the most helpful resources that they have. It makes them feel like they're getting a little bit of that face-to-face instruction that unfortunately you don't get with an online course. So please make sure you're using that. It's a great resource for you. There's several videos per chapter. So if you're getting stuck on something, always kind of refer back to that and take a look. Also, under the Additional Resources tab, I have a couple refresher documents. So if it's been a while since you've taken Accounting 101, or even the few weeks between the end of the spring semester and the start of the summer semester has erased your memory of Accounting 101 topics, there's some documents here that can help you. Things like telling you how to increase and decrease each account and which financial statements you can find them on, things like that. Under the discussions link over here, you are going to find 2 discussion posts that are available to you all semester. They're not graded. They're there really, again, as another resource for you. So one of them is called Have a Question. So if you're ever sitting at home late at night and you're working on a homework assignment and you've watched my videos and you watched the Cengage videos and you've checked your work and you've done all this stuff and you're still really stuck and it's 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning and you know I'm not going to be able to respond to you right away, you can actually post the question here for homework, not for test questions, but for homework questions to your peers. Because somebody might be working on that same exercise at that same hour of the night, and might be able to help you. So it's a great way to kind of help your peers and learn from your peers. Always definitely email me your question as well, just in case no one's able to respond to your question. I want to make sure your question does get answered. So always definitely email me as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. The other one is called Piece of Advice. So as you're going through the semester, you might find something that has really worked for you. You're using a certain study tool. You've done something to help prepare for exams that really has been beneficial. Share that with your classmates. Something that someone might have forgot about that's there. Maybe they forgot about my Professor Quinn videos or for the practice sets, and you've been using them and they've been really helpful to you. So if you have something that you found as a good piece of advice for your classmates, please share with them. And also don't forget to check back here and look at that and check to see what advice is being given. So there are 6 important tasks you need to get started in the course. The first thing you're going to do is read through the syllabus that is below. Once you have, you're going to sign and date and upload your signed syllabus agreement form to me. And by signed, I mean you're going to type in your name. This counts as your first graded homework assignment. You then want to read and print out the calendar and the homework and test schedule. It has all the due dates and times for each assignment and exam. So this is a wonderful way for you to really stay on track this semester. Remember, this is an accelerated online course, meaning that it's only 8 weeks long rather than 15, and we still have to cover the same amount of material. So it's going to feel like a really quick semester, and you don't want to fall behind at the beginning. So use those documents to really help you stay on track. You're then going to introduce yourself to the class using the discussion link that I have below, and then you're going to respond to at least 2 of your classmates, kind of get to know each other. I know some of you already do from previous classes, but it's nice to get to know your classmates that you'll be dealing with all semester. You're then going to complete the syllabus scavenger hunt quiz, and this is also a graded homework assignment. You want to make sure that you've read through the syllabus carefully, that you haven't missed any of this important information that's in there, and then you can take that quick quiz. And then finally, you're going to click on the Cengage Now link on the left-hand side and get registered into our Cengage Now course. So when we scroll down here, again, you'll see there's the syllabus. You have a calendar and you have a homework and test schedule. The calendar, again, all of this is printable to you. It shows when every assignment is due during the semester, so you can print it out, check it off as you go to make sure that you stay on track with your assignments. Also, the homework and test schedule is a detailed schedule. I give you some important reminders at the top. One of the most important reminders is that you do have the ability to get ahead in the class. I know summertime is a busy time for everybody. So if you know you have a busy week coming up with work, with family, you're traveling, you have the ability to get ahead in the assignments. So take advantage of that if you need to. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that for every homework assignment you do, you have to receive an overall score on that assignment of a 72.5 or better in order for the next assignment to open. So if you do an entire assignment and you get a 50, the next assignment will not open, but it will give you the opportunity to take the assignment again and better your score. This is a great learning process. Again, remember, this is online, so doing your homework is a very essential piece of learning this material. Once you've taken the assignment once, and again, let's say you got a 50, you can go back and view what you did right and what you did wrong and what the correct answers are by simply going to the Grades tab at the top in Cengage Now. It'll open that assignment for you. It will show you what you've entered. It will show you what you got right and what you've gotten wrong. And it will show you the correct answers, and on several occasions it will actually give you some detail if there's calculations involved and things like that. Once you feel a little bit more confident that you understand where you had your mistakes, you can take that assignment again and hopefully improve your score. If you get a score of let's say a 75%, and that allows you to move on, but you're not happy with your 75, you can take it over again as well. And on the second attempt, if you get a 90, that grade is what counts as your grade in the class rather than the 75. Please know though, any attempts that you have made have to be submitted by the due date and time in order to count towards your grade. So just keep that in mind as you go forward. If you have missed an assignment, meaning you haven't submitted it on time and you have not requested an extension, you will still have to complete the missed assignment before you'll be able to get into the next assignment available. You are allowed 2 extensions on homework assignments only. It does not count towards tests during the semester. In order to get the extension, you have to email me prior to the due date and time expiring for that assignment, and you will receive a 24-hour extension on that assignment. So you have 2 during the semester, so use them wisely. And with your exams, once you start a test, you have to complete the test, and the test is timed. As soon as you complete the test and submit it, you will be able to see what your score was on the exam, but you will not be able to see your information that you inputted or the correct answers. Those will become available to you starting the day after the due date at 7 p.m. So if an exam was due on June 30th, the correct answers will become available to you on July 1st at 7 p.m. And again, to access that, you simply go to the Grades tab in Cengage Now and click on your grade for that exam, and it will open it back up for you. So in this detailed homework and test schedule, you'll see in the first column the name of the assignment. You'll see when it becomes available to you, when it's due, and the number of attempts you have available, and if you need to receive a certain overall score in order to move on. So the first two are just getting you familiarized with Cengage Now and some success strategies. You only get to take those once, and you don't have to meet that 72.5% or better to move on. When you get to that Chapter 9 lecture assignment, you have 2 attempts available on it, and you do need to have an overall score of a 72.5 or better. Anytime you see a lecture assignment, these are videos that are going to give you an overall view of the chapter and some specific learning objectives. One of the biggest complaints students have when it comes to online classes is they hate not having any of that kind of lecture or face-to-face type interaction. So between the Professor Quinn example videos where I walk you through how to solve certain exercises and problems, and these lecture videos, it makes you have a little more sense of a face-to-face feel of that instruction. So take advantage of these. So you'll see in some situations, for example, Chapter 10, you have a lecture assignment and homework assignment, both due on the same day. Then you have Part 2, lecture and homework, and Part 3, lecture and homework. This is a longer chapter. It has a lot of concepts. So what I have done is I've broken down the chapter into chunks. So for example, in the lecture assignment, you are only going to learn about a few learning objectives at the start of the chapter. And your homework assignment is only going to be associated with those learning objectives that you just watched those lecture assignment videos on. Again, when you get to the Chapter 10 lecture assignment Part 2, it's only going to show you some videos on certain learning objectives, and the homework assignment is only going to be you practicing those specific learning objectives. So a lot of times you'll see that they're broken down into smaller pieces because this semester is very different than Accounting 101. Accounting 101, every chapter builds on the material that you previously learned. That is not the case in Accounting 102. Every chapter is completely different from the chapter prior to it. So for example, in Chapter 9, we're going to be talking about accounts receivable. In Chapter 10, depreciation. So sometimes it can feel like you're having to learn a lot more material. So this way it's really kind of broken down into pieces for you to make it a little bit easier. You will notice that I've highlighted the tests in pink. Your tests become available on a certain date and are due on a certain date. There's a 3-day window to complete that exam, but again, once you start the exam, you do have to finish it. You have 1 attempt, and you do not need to receive a certain grade in order to move on in the assignments. Once you've read through all of that information, you're going to come down here to the syllabus agreement form. You're going to click on the syllabus agreement document. It's a Word document. You'll open it up. You'll save it somewhere onto your computer. You'll type in your name and the date. And then once you've saved it, you'll click on this blue syllabus agreement form link, and you will upload that document to me. And the directions on how to upload that is right here at the bottom. Then you can take your syllabus scavenger hunt quiz to make sure you haven't missed any of that important information that I've included in the syllabus. And finally, you're going to introduce yourself to the class by filling in the blank of I am 10 different times with 10 different descriptors about yourself. And please make sure to respond to at least 2 other classmates' introductions. The Cengage Now link over here, you will find some information about Cengage Now. If you've never used Cengage Now before, it's an online companion website that is dealing with your textbook. It has a lot of resources, again, that I will cover in part 2 of this orientation video. There are extremely helpful resources included in here, but they're only helpful to you if you actually use them, so please take advantage. And right down here, you'll find directions on how to log into our Cengage Now course. Please note to not use Internet Explorer when using Cengage Now. Please either use Chrome, Firefox, or you can use Safari if you're on a Mac. Please also save the website I've given to you here, login.cengage.com. That is how you're going to log in. Going forward, you do not have to get back into Blackboard every time you want to log into Cengage Now, and it's definitely a website you want to save because if Blackboard ever goes down, you want to still be able to access the Cengage Now website so you can complete your assignments. So you'll simply click on this link here and you will get registered into our course. For most of you that have taken Accounting 101 recently, you've probably already registered the access code that was packaged with your textbook. You do not need to register that code again. You will just simply enter in the course key if it's asked for. You do have some other options if you haven't taken Accounting 101 in a while or you lost your Cengage Now access code that you had purchased with your textbook previously. You can purchase the Cengage Now access code. It does give you full access to the wonderful ebook, which again I'll show you in part 2 of the orientation video. Or you can use the 21-day free trial, which gives you full access to our course, all of the assignments, the ebook, and the study resources. So you definitely want to make sure you get logged in because our assignments start pretty much right away. Again, here are the Professor Quinn example videos. You can see that there are several here per chapter. And again, I've indicated what topic I am covering and what exercise or problem it either is matching or similar to in your textbook. So really take advantage of these as well. So this ends part 1 of our orientation video. Part 2 will be talking about how we're going to be using Cengage Now throughout the semester.